Remember when we drove to Dublin in a camper van? Radio was buzzed and so we sang. We had to fix a punctured tyre in the pouring rain. But you just laughed and said, well, next time by train. Remember on the ferry then, when the waves were high, how my face turned pale at your pumpkin pie. The engine wouldn't start and we were blocking everyone. You told the captain, hey, at least it's not a hit and run. Now I know what you're going to say, but you know that I want you to stay. If there's one thing that makes me afraid, it's your distant gaze. It's your distant gaze. Remember Dublin City and the sun was in the sky. Didn't have a penny, but we still got high. Walking down through Grafton Street, the busker sang our song. Couldn't give a coin, but he was happy we sang along. I know what you're going to say, but you know that I want you to stay. If there's one thing that makes me afraid, it's your distant gaze. It's your distant gaze. But you know that I want you to stay. If there's one thing that makes me afraid, it's your distant gaze. It's your distant gaze. I know what you're gonna say, but you know I want you to stay. If there's one thing that makes me afraid, it's your distant gaze. Your distant gaze. Now I know what you're going to say, but you know that I want you to stay. If there's one thing that makes me afraid, it's your distant gaze. It's your distant gaze. 'Cause I know what you're going to say, but you know that I want you to stay. If there's one thing that makes me afraid, it's your distant gaze. It's your distant gaze. It's your distant gaze. Your distant gaze. Welcome to Guitar Trek. I am Richard J. Dowling, and every week I upload an original song
to YouTube today. It was Your Distant Gaze, and I'm a bit teed off because I did loads of takes, and the only good one was the one where I'd forgotten to put the light on. I've got a light here, so I'm all in select, which may be for the best, but you know, it's just these irritating little things that you get everything right and one thing is wrong, and then there's no time. I've got work to do. I haven't got any more time. Can't do any more vocal takes. It's a long song, so it's the best I can do in the time available, which I guess is all that we can do at any point in time. Still, it's, you know, these little niggles get very frustrating. But anyway, time to be positive. So I'll take you through the song. I'm very happy with the song. I think it's a fantastic song. It always feels like a little bonus when I get something that. How can I say it? I mean, as I say, every song that as I said in the past, every song that I upload is at a certain level or a certain standard. It seems, to my ears, fresh, original. It's alive. It's got that sort of. It's not just. I mean, you can write a song with a melody that you hit the chord notes and everything is technically fine, and it just doesn't come alive. But for me, it has to be a melody that has a life of its own. So that definitely fulfills this. And in a way, I was sort of inspired by myself, because I was very happy with a song recently I did called The Sight of You, which was this sort of melancholy, not melancholy really, but a sort of 80s style, or at least the melody sounded like an 80s style pop tune. And so I was thinking, I'd like to do something like that again. And then last week I did Bury Me in Open Skies, which had a chord sequence which was, I think it was D major to F major to C to G. And I was feeling a bit lazy, so I just thought, well, I'll take that chord sequence, just play it in a different order. So instead of starting on the D, started on the G. I played it with a capo, but hold on, I'll take you through. I don't know if you can see it, but so yeah, so it's just G major, D major, F major, C major for the verse. Now, when you play an acoustic guitar like this one, and I've got these early ball strings, which I don't know what material, I can't remember, it's like aluminium or something different from the usual phosphor bronze, and they're advertised as being loud, and they certainly are loud, but I find them quite boomy against my voice. And in this room, the acoustic guitar didn't sound great, so that's why I put a capo on it at the 2nd fret. So I'm playing the shapes G, D, F, C, but they're now in the key of A, so it would be A major. So if you're playing along with it, it would be A major, E major, G, and D. So the same chords but moved up a step, I think, or down or across. My brain's not working. It's some chords and a voice over the top of it. And my point being that you have to, well, as a performer, you're sort of listening to how things sound and adjusting things. So I made that adjustment not because of my voice. Often you might want to change the key so that you can sing it more comfortably, but it was more a case of just finding a sound on the acoustic guitar that was pleasant to play along with. And speaking of sound, I've got, you won't see it, but I've got loads of different picks. This is my favourite electric guitar pick, which I think is the Jazz. It's if you know anything about guitars, you probably know all about it. It's Jazz 3, I think the Dunlop classic one. And it just feels, when you're playing it, it feels like part of your body. Really comfortable, very precise, and great for electric guitar. But on the acoustic, when I'm strumming, I prefer these Dava strings, picks. I was going to say puas, which is Spanish. Picks, they have a softer sound. So, and this applies to electric guitar as well. If you're looking for a different sound, before you start spending lots of money on pedals, which you're going to do because it's fun, But please experiment with strings and picks, because this is another Dunlop. This is the green one. They will all sound different. You play it with your fingers. This is with the Jazz 3. That sounds good, but it feels heavy against the strings. There's a lot of resistance, whereas this Dava one is worn out now, but it just sort of flows. There's no resistance. It feels really comfortable. So for strumming, I like that. Point being, there are lots of decisions you can make to affect your sound without having to go and spend money. I think it should be the last thing you're doing is spending money, because by these sorts of simple things like experimenting with string. Okay, if you want to experiment with strings, you have to spend money, but spending less money. Experimenting with strings, where you hit the guitar will have a big impact on the sound, the room you're in, everything. And these are things that you should. It's just interesting to try, really. I mean, it's interesting to hear how the same guitar will sound different in a different room. Two different people playing it will make it sound different. It's just one of the beauties of acoustic instruments in particular, that they have this variety of sound which you wouldn't expect. I mean, with an electric guitar, you can plug it into an amp and get loads of different sounds just by tweaking the knobs. But with an acoustic guitar, you can also get a lot of different sounds, by hitting it nearer the bridge, hitting it nearer the neck. Forgotten the words. And I'm going to be teaching later on, so today's going to be great. So, okay, let's go through. So those are the chords, which I ripped off from myself and just changed them around. Then the lyrics, and I came across a cover of a Monkees song, and you've probably heard me talk about the Monkees before. And the song was Shades of Grey, and it was a cover by Beatles Girl, so hello Beatles Girl. It was really inspiring. Because I love that song, and that was this sort of melancholy pop thing I was trying to get at. And I came up with, I heard the phrase "distant gaze," your distant gaze, which came to me while I was sort of mucking around. And it's very much this sort of melancholy feel. So it immediately came, well, who's got a distant gaze? It would be the singer's loved one. And a distant gaze sort of implies something's going on in that person's mind, and so the song, the lyrics sort of flowed quite easily. That in the chorus, it's actually the sad part, because in the chorus, the singer or the narrator realizes that the other person, the loved one. Well, there's a different interpretation you can place in it, but my original interpretation was that the singer realizes, or the narrator realizes, that the person wants to break up with them, and it's the end of the relationship. And in the verses, he's trying to recall happy memories to sort of try to rekindle the love. So there's this Dublin trip. I've never been to Dublin, actually, and there's something something I got to try to do. My family are originally from Ireland, and I would often go to Cork and Limerick for summer holidays, but never went to Dublin. But Dublin was the third choice. Sorry, Dublin. It was the third choice lyrically. I remember when we drove to London was the first one, because I'm from London. Then that didn't really sound good. Then I thought maybe Brighton. They then drove with a D. I thought, what city begins with a D? Dublin. So then everything else really flowed quite easily from that. So it's sort of a different sort of way of approaching things. Normally you expect maybe the verse to be more melancholy and the chorus to be uplifting, and I think melodically the chorus is uplifting, but thematically it's the chorus that's a sad section and the verses are the happier section, where he's trying to, or he or she, whatever, trying to remember the good things and the funny things that their partner said. Then that's about it, really. One of the interesting things was that came up was just I decided to put in a spoken word chorus halfway through, because the structure is there's two verses, then the chorus, then a verse, then a chorus. And I was really happy with the melody of the chorus, so I didn't really want to distract attention from it by going to a different part. Sometimes I put in a bridge, But I fancied a breakdown, so I just did this. Continued with the same. It's the chorus. The lyrics are the same, but I speak them, so it's a sort of a drop in tension, and then go back in for the chorus. So I think there's like 4 or 5 repeats of the chorus there, one way or another, which is quite a lot. But I think it works because it's a strong melody. It starts. I mean, it takes a while to get to the chorus in the beginning. So at the end, I think I've weighted it more to the chorus, and I think the overall balance, I think, is quite good. I can feel my voice is getting tired. I have to learn how to speak the same way that I've been sort of mentioning before. When you sing, engaging this sort of muscle here in the diaphragm, and singing it works fine. But I'm doing these freaking online classes, and I find that I'm pushing my voice a lot harder than normal when I'm speaking. And it's starting to really like become. Well, I've moaned about it before. I'll moan about it in the future. I moan about everything, so don't worry. Moaning aside, I've got some good news. I wanted to do a shout out a while ago, and the person deleted the channel, which made me sort of panic. But now they're back, and so it's under the name Folk and Blueser, and he's one of the best songwriters I've come across on YouTube. And there's a song in particular, Can't Win for Losing, which I think is an amazing song. If you like, I mean, it's not just blues; it's sort of folk. I mean, in the title of his channel, he tells you as well, folk elements, and really a great guy. He's very involved in the community. He's very, we often chat, when we can during the, sending messages on YouTube and stuff. It's something I really like. I really enjoy. It's a shame. I mean, obviously the video aspect of YouTube is fantastic, but it would be great to have some more ways of chatting. Maybe direct messaging through YouTube would be good, or something. Because I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people, and I've got some incredible stories. I'm trying to restrict myself to just one or 2 shout outs in the video. But so this guy Al has got a fantastic channel. And he's very involved. He's very responsive on YouTube. So he's a very interesting guy. His lyrics are great. He's a great singer, and I mean, just really quite an impressive performer. I'll put a link to the song. The 2 versions. There's one with a collaboration where an electric guitarist is joining him, but unfortunately that's with a flicker effect on the video, and it really messes with my eyes. I'm not epileptic, but maybe I'm sort of on the verge or something, because I've got very sensitive eyes in general anyway. But there's another version which is in colour, and it's just him, and I really think it's a classic song, so please check it out, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And the second shout out is to a guy, I hope I'm not mispronouncing it, Ainiwa Ferrari, who's done a cover version of the last song I uploaded, which is "Bury Me in Open Skies," and it's always it's an amazing. I find it an amazing compliment that somebody wants to cover one of my songs. Recently, a couple of people have done so. Zach Boles and Erin Wolf have done covers of my songs, and now the hat trick is with Ainiwa Ferrari, and it's a lovely version. It's very very interesting if you compare my version, which I think is more of a. It's very. I never realised, but it's very British sounding in comparison to his version, which I think is more American sounding. And it's not just a question of accents; it's a question of melodic, the way we view melodies. I mean, have a listen, and please, leave a nice comment for him, because I think he's done a wonderful job. And it's just a pleasure to hear a song I've written being interpreted by somebody else. It really is, one of the best things a musician can have happen to them, I think. And that's it. I'm going to leave you. I was going to do something else, wasn't I? I was going to try and, because originally when I started doing this channel, I was uploading the idea that I'd had for next week's song the week before as a sort of teaser. And No, I won't do that this week. I'll probably start. I might start doing it again, incorporating it into the thoughts section, because it does. Sometimes what happens is I've got lots of different ideas and I don't know which one to concentrate on. But if I've uploaded a song idea, then it sort of it restricts my choice, which is good in this respect, because then I can focus on it. But anyway, I'm rambling again as usual. So hope that you're well, that you're enjoying music. I really should have come up with a way to sign off, but thank you to everybody for listening, for commenting, for liking, for subscribing. I really appreciate it. This channel has been very helpful to me emotionally, and giving me motivation to write more songs, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.